course. Oh. Welcome to the show! What happened? There we go. And everything's set up so perfectly that I just destroyed it. Welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for being here. Today, we're going to talk about Marco Bucci. Marco Bucci is a mentor of mine. He has an incredible YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, please do check out Marco Bucci. I owe a ton of my knowledge about composition and color and light to Marco. He's a fantastic teacher. Definitely check him out if you are interested in art and understanding how to paint. I would highly suggest his series called 10 Minutes to Better Painting. I'd watched his YouTube videos, and about 3 years ago, he put out this post that he was doing a mentorship for, I think it was 8 students, that he was going to be doing a cohort 8-week intensive mentorship with. I submitted a portfolio. I got in and got to do this 8-week mentorship with Marco. It was incredible. It was an awesome experience. It was really intense. My artistic skills skyrocketed, but mostly my artistic knowledge, why things work, why things fit together in an illustration, how to take the viewer on a journey through your illustrations. After graduating, I actually got to work with Marco. We kind of co-illustrated a Walt Disney book that went out to South America. France? I'm circling. I think it was the Netherlands. See, I started I'm circling Europe. I think it was the Netherlands. So, Wouter Tulp, if you're watching this, you should go find that Mickey Mouse book. I did a lot of the big block colors for him, and then he came in and rendered it. It was a lot of fun to work with him. I actually was working on that project on my honeymoon. Thankfully, my wife is wonderful, and she was very kind to let me do that on our honeymoon. Since working with Marco, we have gone back and forth talking plein air painting, talking gouache painting, talking about favorite artists and life goals and stuff like that. Marco's been a true friend and a mentor for me ever since that class. Since I have started YouTubing, I went ahead and messaged him and said, hey, I'm doing this. I was wondering if you'd be interested in collaborating, if I could take this final piece that I did in your class and take the knowledge I've learned since your class, improve it, and get a critique video from you that I could put on YouTube. And Marco said yes, because Marco is a great guy. So that's what I'm going to do now. This is going to be a series. There's going to be several videos here, and at the very end, Marco is going to critique my illustration. So here is the illustration I did in Marco's class. I think I really did a number on this thing after I fell on it. Here is that illustration. And the first thing that I just love about it is how long it is. It's fun that way. Our canvas here is 16 by 9. I think this has to be at least 20 by 9, which is fun. There's nothing wrong with it. And at the time I was really into like cinematic, but I think it's pretty pointless. I don't think that there's anything added to this illustration because of its length. Let's start with what I like about this illustration. I think it's funny, 2 kids fighting. I think it could be funnier. You might not have noticed, but there's these 2 dogs here. The idea was kind of a social statement. It was supposed to be 2 kids on leashes fighting, and we had these 2 pugs dressed up like little babies in a baby carriage, right? So we've got that really fun juxtaposition of what the heck is going on with our society. I don't think I accomplished that. So just story-wise, that's the first issue. The story I was going for, I really think I failed. Secondly, I am from the Seattle area. If you notice the Beecher's Cheese sign, this is supposed to be downtown Pike Place. As a local, I really wanted to add this in the background, but it is so insanely distracting. Letters are a big deal in a composition, but also if you just squint at this illustration, what is the lightest part of this illustration? It is right here, this. And so now not only do I have letters fighting with my picture, but I also have the brightest part of my illustration here. So that is issue number 2. Another thing that bothers me about this illustration is this crowd of people is kind of an island. If I'm looking at just the shapes of my illustration here, I've got this crowd. Then I've got my main kid, right? This secondary kid. And then the mom, who's the anatomy is really weird. At least she's a little smaller. We can tell she's in the background, but these two kids, they're the exact same size. This shape isn't larger enough to actually fight with these. Another thing that bothers me about this illustration is this kid is so incredibly ugly. Like, it's okay that he's ugly. I just mean the way he is rendered. This yellow on his skin here is so gross. Like, that is not a healthy skin color. I think I was subconsciously fighting this Beecher's cheese thing. And so I was like, he needs to get brighter and brighter and brighter. And it just became yellow and gross. Like he's got some kind of disease. So that needs to be fixed. So overall, the composition feels broken. We've got this island of people. We've got this distraction. We've got our main subject and this secondary kid who's falling way behind in the pecking order here to other things going on. Yeah, the visual hierarchy is off. One thing I do really like about this is this brick road is really cool, and I want to keep that. Lastly, this is of least importance, is the brush quality. It either needs to be more painterly or it needs to be rendered out better. It's in a weird, awkward in-between stage where the brush strokes are distracting. All right. So with that, let's get illustrating. First thing we're going to do is I'm going to change my ratio from that 20:9 to a little healthier 16:9. Just because if you're going to be weird, you should have a reason why you're going to be weird. So the 20:9 is weird and really long and almost panoramic, and I don't have a reason for that. This first idea is going to be focusing on that crowd in the background and really finding a way to unify the background. So I've got this kid here, simplify, maybe put those pugs here and simplify the crowd, maybe add some crowd over here. Okay, that's idea number 1. For idea number 2, I'm wondering if we can lower the camera angle a little more to feel like we're really in the illustration. Yeah, I like that. Maybe we even have someone in the foreground, put that foot back in there, and now this gives us room also to possibly have the 2 pugs be a little bit more of the story. All right, you might not be able to see what's going on there. I added a lot of lines, but that feels a lot more like I'm in this illustration, right? What if this was from the pug's point of view? So kids are fighting right here, but we have this pug stroller. Ooh, this is interesting. Passerby here is just not paying attention at all. The dogs are paying attention, but the people aren't. Yeah, I like that a lot. Let's flip this around though. We have the pugs off in the distance, and the foreground is the kids. Let's push this ground plane down. I like that. Don't think we have an answer yet, but I really like the direction we're moving in. I think each one of these is getting closer to what I want it to be, and I definitely want the pugs to be more of a story, and I think these 2 options push us in that direction. This perspective not straight on, really low, pugs back here just like they were, but maybe this time they're going away from us, and we got one kid foot here and the other kid right here. And we could even have him angled so that you can still see his mom in the background. I'm trying to pull him back. That one is cool. I really feel like I'm a part of this illustration. The more I look at it, I feel like it's clashing again. Like our original illustration, I think this kid, if you've got his face right here, and then you've got the dogs here, that those 2 are going to fight too much. So the 2 that I'm really thinking about moving forward with are these 2. Now you might not be able to tell what's going on here, but I can. All right, let's clean both of these up just a little bit so that you guys can enjoy this as much as I am. One thing I don't love about this one is I don't know I love the idea of completely losing the parents and the crowd that's around them. Like, we'd have people crossing the street. These two kids just feel too isolated. It feels almost like two different illustrations. We can get these crosswalk marks that'll point right in our direction, kind of like an Abbey Road thing going on here. How cool would the cover of Abbey Road be if it was this low and all you saw was Paul McCartney's naked foot? That would be pretty cool. Was Paul the one not wearing shoes? Comment below which Beatle is not wearing his shoes in Abbey Road. We lose the parents again in this one, but it's further away, so you're going to be able to see the leashes. I don't know, it just seems different. I think I'm moving forward with that one. Nice. This is feeling like a really good foreground. Pointing us in the right direction. We've got a good audience. I know the pugs are important to this. But what I want to try is seeing if I can turn the kids just a little bit like we did earlier. Like, what if this kid is back in the foreground? And this kid goes back to being our primary with his leash going back, and you can see his mom. So now we have that element that we want of the parents trying to pull back the kids. And this gives us room for a crowd. Keep the Beecher's cheese thing, which would be nice, a little ode. Is that the right word? Nice ode to my old illustration. Yeah, guys, I think we have a thumbnail. All right, that is it for this episode. We've got a thumbnail. We're ready to move forward. Like, subscribe if you want to see more. There will be more videos of this, and eventually Marco Bucci will be critiquing this piece of art, which right now is just a thumbnail. It's just bubbly shapes. So it's going to be really exciting. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.